Hello, besties. Happy first reading sprints of the year. Sunday reading sprints. How are we doing? I have a little banner up if you would like to share your New Year's goals, reading or otherwise. Please let me know. We're going to manifest all of our goals and we're going to put that out into the universe for the stream. I'm currently reading Juniper and Thorn. I am in my fantasy historical fantasy era recently. A Kiss of Iron just like put me on in that bag, and I'm here. And I have a book and a dream, and the dream is to finish this book today for my weekend reading vlog. Also, please share what you're going to be reading today. Hi, Mel. I'm planning to start Frost today. Oh gosh. Or Once Upon a Broken Heart. I can't decide. I don't think my heart could take it if you don't like Once Upon a Broken Heart. So maybe start with Frost. But I don't know how much you're going to like it. The writing style isn't like crazy, but it's really fast and easy to read and it's very plot driven. So I think that you would like Frost and you'd probably be able to finish it very quickly. Hello, Kelsey. I'll be reading Iron Gold today. Love. I'll finish Captured by the Monsters, oh goodness, by R.L. Calder, and then I'm not sure what I will read. Well, if you have other options and you would like help deciding, we can definitely help decide. Trying to finish Throne of the Fallen. Hi, Happy New Year. Playing Hogwarts Legacy for another half hour, and then I will start reading Renegades. I loved Hogwarts Legacy. I never ended up finishing the game. I forget why I put it down, but I need to go back to it. I would probably need to start from the beginning because I don't remember all of the like combat stuff, and I had a lot of different spells. I really wasn't good at changing between spells in that game, but it's so fun. It really just made you live out your Hogwarts dreams. Like if you ever wanted to attend Hogwarts, it's just incredible. Oh my gosh, I really want to read this book. I hope that you're liking it. Have you started it yet? Happy New Year. Goal for reading is to read 125 books this year. Also want to get more in shape and eat better. Love. Oh my gosh, 125 books reading queen. I usually start off and set my reading goal at 80 books because I know that that's something I could pretty easily achieve. Like with my reading pace, I have the last 2 years gone over 80 books and that is fine. But this year there's a lot of life stuff happening, like getting married in May. We're going to be moving next month. So we finally know where we're moving. We're moving to Arizona, which is very exciting. And it's not that far of a drive either, which that's something I was very worried about. If we were going to move like across the country, then that would be a lot more of like a crazy long drive and move and stuff like that. So 80 books is my goal. And once we get through February, we will reassess to see where my mental state is at. Good morning, bestie. I'll be reading my NetGalley arc called The Clinic. I want to try to finish it by Tuesday because that's the pub date. Hee. I know you can do it. You have been an arc queen lately. I am not good with arcs. I don't know what it is. I love to get them, and sometimes I'll read them right away, but if I don't read them right away, I just sit on them forever, and I don't know why I don't prioritize arcs. You are my inspiration to be better at reading arcs. I'm hoping to read more of The Girl in the Stars. So many people have been reading this lately. When I was on Mel's Sprints the other day, so many people were reading The Girl in the Stars. I knew I would be gone all day yesterday with kids' basketball games, so didn't push to get it finished. Well, we have our, I don't want to say lazy Sunday morning, but like comfy, cozy reading Sunday morning. It's raining here, and it doesn't usually rain here. So I'm just feeling like all of the vibes. It's also very gloomy, so I'm so happy to be chatting and hanging out with you guys. This is fair. Does it help if I'm excited for Broken Heart and in the mood for something like it? Yes, I just know that you don't really lean into whimsy, and Stephanie Garber is like the most whimsical writer ever, and she's very feel-good romance. Like obviously Once Upon a Broken Heart, Jax is such a king and I love him so much, and he's not the most like touchy-feely, sweet, caring, whatever. He's like very standoffish and plays hard to get in a way. So like it is a little bit stabby, but I just have you read Caraval? Like it's the same world and it's just very, very like fairy tale and whimsical. And that makes me nervous because I can't hear bad things about those books. I love them so much. Good morning. Working on the Throne of Glass tandem read. Oh my goodness. Prayers to you, friend. That is such a task. Hi, I'm reading House of Earth and Blood. Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite books of all time. I hope that you're loving it, Stacy. The audio for Frost is so short, I might knock that out. It's a very short book, which is so nice. And like it reads very quickly. Like even if you read it physically, I think that you could get through it quite quickly. But if you have the audio, make sure it's not the graphic audio. That's what I did. At least I did it for Ambrosia. And it was not the vibe. It was a very weird, interesting experience. I think the normal audiobook would have been a lot better. Let me know, do you guys like graphic audios? I think that was the first graphic audio that I ever listened to with Ambrosia. And I'm not sure how I felt about it. Hello. I'll be reading A Sorcery of Thorns today, and if I finish, I'll be switching to The Witch Collector. I've really been wanting to read The Witch Collector. It keeps coming up as available on my Libby because I do have a hold-in for it, and I keep delaying it, but it would be such a good winter read. Sorcery of Thorns is one of my absolute favorites. I hope that you love it. It's so good. I'm 50% through, highly recommending it. Oh my gosh, love! Not me finally catching a live sprint. Hi, Vita. I'm so happy that you're here. Hi, Bailey. I'm going to be finishing Sea of Ruin and working on homework and editing a thumbnail. Okay, productive queen. Also, how are you finding Sea of Ruin? I'm assuming that if you say finishing, you're probably pretty far along. Please tell me what you think of the men in that book. Yeah, I mean, moving is always stressful. The brain goblins are brain goblining. Last night I was laying in bed and I literally couldn't fall asleep because I was like, oh my gosh, we have to do so many things. But I'm just glad it's not like a super far move, which is nice and very helpful. So yeah, the next like 3 weeks, we will be moving. Usually read around 100, so I'm definitely challenging myself, but I'll be totally fine with it if I don't reach my goal. That's good. Like, be gentle with yourself, but obviously it's January. So like we have a lot of time to hit this goal. My life stuff is definitely more important, especially getting married. Yay! Happy New Year, bestie. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad sprints are back. Me too. I've been like, last night I was literally laying in bed and I was like, wow, I can't wait to like chat and read with everybody tomorrow. It's going to be so fun. I will be reading Dead Tomorrow by Peter James. I'm trying to read more chunkier books this year because I keep putting them off. I feel like I do the same thing, but lately all of the books that I have been gravitating towards have been like 600 pages or more. And so I feel like, I don't know, something's happening in my brain where I'm like, yeah, I need to be reading these chunkier books. And I've been loving them. One that I meant to read last year was City of Gods and Monsters, which is like 700 pages, but I've heard that it gives House of Earth and Blood vibes. And that's like what I need. I can't wait to read it. I'm so excited. Hello. Morning, everyone. Wanting to get some studying done, and then I will hopefully be finishing Mistborn. Yes, we will get started pretty soon. I have a cozy ambiance for us. I know that some of y'all are probably sick of the cold and the snow. I think that reading to a snowy background is the cutest thing in the whole entire world. So I have like a little snowy window for us today with, I think, fire crackles in the background. So hopefully that's a vibe for studying and reading. Hello. I just finished the first book in the Throne of Glass series. It was really good. I think I'm going to start the second book. Did you read Assassin's Blade or did you read Throne of Glass? Good morning. Just finished learning. Now to continue reading House of Earth and Blood. Love. Oh my gosh. You guys are making me want to reread House of Earth and Blood. Finish my reading goal. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you said you finished your reading goal of 50 books. My reading goal for this year is 50 books because I don't like putting pressure on myself and I know I can reach that easily. I do the same thing, girly pop. I then normally increase my goal throughout the year. Literally same. Expectations set. Oh my goodness, I'm scared for you to read not House Over the Blood. I'm scared for you to read Once Upon a Broken Heart because I don't know how you're gonna feel about it. Hi Cass, how are you? What are you reading? I want to cozy up and read, but I need to do my chores. Hopefully I'll make these productive sprints. I was thinking like I kind of need to fold laundry and like keep up with laundry. And I do have the audiobook for Juniper and Thorn that I could listen to while doing that, but I really don't want to. I just want to read and chat and sit with you guys. Hello from Greece. Welcome in. I'm finishing my homework and then I hope I can get a little bit farther into Fourth Wing. Oh my gosh, how are you liking Fourth Wing? Good morning. I'm probably going to read Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. Oh my gosh, love. Talk about historical fiction. Oh, I've missed you guys so much. You don't even know. Like, I was actually sad on Sundays when I couldn't just pop on here and read and chat with you guys. Oh my gosh, so cute. I feel like we haven't had much time with Priest. Yes, the romance is very like sided to one of the men because it's like a why choose dark romance. But there is a novella that explores what's the other guy's name that's not Priest? I can't remember. But there is a novella where you get the start of the romance with the other guy. I hate calling him that because I literally loved him so much. Cutie! I'm torn between The Ever King by L.J. Andrews and my arc of... I have been wanting to read A Dark and Drowning Tide. I don't have it next to me, but I'm currently reading A Far Wilder Magic by Alison Saft. I hope I'm thinking of the right book. Please read A Dark and Drowning Tide, Vita, and let me know how it is. Throne of Glass. Assassin's Blade 3rd. Oh my gosh, okay. Love. We will get started. We're 12 minutes in. Okay, we will get started at 8:30 my time. We'll start in 3 minutes, our first sprint. And I think we're going to do 3 or 4, like 30-minute sprints. I really need to get to House of Earth and Blood. Was planning to read it before the new one came out, and that's not going to happen. House of Earth and Blood is one of my favorite books of all time. I literally love it so much. I need to do a reread/finish Sky and Breath because I DNF'd it 70% of the way through, literally the month that it came out, which was what, like 2 years ago now. So I need to return. I do know how it ends because all of my friends were reading it and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not happy with it. I don't like it. And so everyone told me the ending of Sky and Breath because I asked them to. But I have to actually go back and read it for myself. Reading My Heart is a Chainsaw currently. Wait. House of Sky and Breath. Sorry. My brain. Crescent City 1. Oh my gosh. I love that so many people are reading the Crescent City series on these sprints right now. Doing some actual work to prep for the coming week. Okay, productive. But after that, hoping to finish There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. I had quite a few. I would say Fourth Wing was definitely up there for me. Iron Flame was my first book that I read this year and it didn't deliver, but Fourth Wing was very, very high on that list from what I can remember. I also really loved the Shadows and Crown series by S.M. Gaither. It captured my entire heart and soul towards the end of the year. So the first book in that one, my brain, is Song of the Marked. I would say those were probably my top 2. And then I also really, really loved Blood and Steel by Helen Schurer. And the third book in that series is coming out so soon. And I still have to read book 2. It was a lot of romantasies that were my favorites of last year. And then right at the end of the year, my last book that I read was The Long Way Home by Jessa Hastings, the third book in the Magnolia Park series. And like fell back in love with that series. Not that I really ever fell out of love with it, but I read the first 2 like back to back. And then I didn't read the third one until so much later. But The Long Way Home was definitely a top for me. Okay, we're going to start our first sprint because otherwise I'm just going to keep chatting with you guys. I know it's been such a long time since we've done sprints, but I will try to catch up on comments when we start next. So this is our ambient room. Oh, let me put this banner down. And I will see y'all in 30. besties, welcome back. We have a cast that joined us.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm tired this morning. And I don't know why. I went to bed early last night, so I probably overslept, and that's why I'm tired. But
Yeah. Well, we'll wake you up.
yeah, exactly. It's a good day for reading. It's like snowing outside. I'm a little bit tired. I feel like it's a good, cozy reading day.
Oh my gosh, snow is so vibey, but I watched your most recent vlog that you posted, the battle between Rachel and Hannah, and you said that it was minus 40 degrees outside, and I literally wanted to die for you.
I actually believe the next day was like minus 50. No wind chill. Like minus 50 without wind chill. So like it feels like minus 60. Yeah, it's not that cold anymore. We are back into like the minus like 20 Celsius. So like still really cold, but it feels you don't have to worry about dying when you walk outside. Like
oh my gosh, I literally could never.
I live in a very cold climate sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Remind me
You
what
get
you're
used to it
reading.
though.
You said it earlier.
I'm reading My Heart is a Chainsaw for
That's right.
Lexi's battle. It's what Lexi picked for me. And it's something. That's all I can say right now.
Are you doing
I'm about 100 pages.
Are you doing two horrors
Yeah, I'm
against
doing
each other?
2 horrors. So I'll spoil it for everyone. It's Lexi and Riley, like Riley Murray. So we have 2 horrors coming next, which is fun. It's like nice sometimes to take a break from the fantasy
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
I
That's
love.
why I mean I'm still reading fantasy, but I'm not reading like true fantasy romance because I was like, I think I need to do better about switching my genres because sometimes you just get fatigued reading from one genre for so long. So it's been working well for
Yep.
me.
I felt that way the end of Fear the Flames for sure. I was like, I think I've read too much fantasy romance in a row right now. Like this is like my 5th fantasy romance in a row, and I think I need to take a break so that I can love it again. Like when I pick up the next one, I will be like ready for it.
Yeah, 100%. I have to say I was very shocked that you loved or like that you really enjoyed Heavenly Bodies. That was a surprise.
I really did. Like I still think I'm like, is it a 4 or is it a 3? Like I literally cannot decide in any way, shape, or form for that one. But I definitely I already bought the ebook for the second one.
Yeah. Wait, is the second one not on KU?
I think it is, but I think it was on sale for like $1, and I was like,
Oh,
then I own it forever.
yeah, that's true.
Like with all
I
my little annotations in it, because I like to read if I can. Like I'll read on Kindle and I'll transfer my annotations over. I don't know why it really works
Mhm.
well with my brain that way to like read, just highlight things, and then spend like 30 minutes just like copying everything over.
Yeah, 100%. I need to start doing that more because I think I think you did it with Fear the Flames, where you were like, I want to annotate this, I'm going to start annotating it, and then you kind of like lose
Mhm.
your love for the book because you keep going. You're like, do I want to keep annotating this? I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, that is always a struggle. So if you do it on Kindle, I feel like you can wait until like Like I knew like around 40% of Heavenly Bodies. I was like, okay, I can annotate this because like there's no way that like I hate this book.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's scientifically proven that you read faster on your Kindle, so you have that going for you as
Mhm.
well.
Yes. Yes. And then like when you're doing the annotations later, you're kind of like reliving the book. So it almost makes you love it more because you're like reliving your like favorite moments because those are the moments like you highlighted on the Kindle and you're reading and you're like, oh my God, that was so cute. I forgot about that scene.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like for me, when I annotate after I've read something, it gives me more time to like doodle and like make it cute. Whereas if I'm annotating while I'm reading, I feel like I don't want to spend a lot of time doing stuff like that because then I'm
Yeah.
going to be taken out of my reading experience and like my flow. So I like doing it after.
Mhm. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah,
How
I've
is that
done a
sprint
few
for
books after.
yeah. How is that sprint for everybody else? Let us know in chat. I'm trying to figure out where I left off. Um Loving Fourth Wing so far, 100 pages in. I hope I can get to 200 pages today. Love. Yay, so glad reading Spencer back. Doing homework. We'll hopefully have some time to read Out There Screaming. Sounds like a scary book. Yay. How do you feel about the series after Iron Flame? Do you think it will get better or keep going downhill? This is a very loaded question.
Yeah, this is like, wow.
I think it's gonna get better. And I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll be extremely vague. I really liked the ending. I also didn't think like where the plot went in the second book. I was anticipating that to happen much later in the series. And I know this is so vague and probably not making any sense, but if you want to DM me, we can like talk more thoroughly about it. But I'm surprised what happened so soon in the series that I think it's going to make for an interesting next couple books. I think as long as Rebecca Yarros like focuses on the plot, like I think that the main plot is strong enough that she doesn't need a lot of these other subplots. And I think she learned maybe from this book that readers didn't love a lot of those subplots as well. So hopefully she learns from that. What do you think, Cass?
Yeah, I feel like the second book just felt like a setup book to me. Like it felt like very much like a lot of fantasy books, specifically 5-book-long series. The second book flops, in my opinion. I still liked it. I'm still like, I still fangirled about it. But I just think that there's so much setup happening and like trying to move the plot forward to a place where like we could get to like 3, 4, and 5. That I do think it's going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I feel like it either happens for me with the second or the third book. Like you're saying, it just hits kind of a weird spot where it's setting up the next couple books. So I think it will get better, Sarah. That's my hope anyway. I'll be reading Way of Kings halfway through and enjoying it. Just got home from errands, updating my iPad. Then I'll be attempting to read more of Divine Rivals. That makes me sad because I love Divine Rivals. I saw you guys talking about this. I think it was yesterday on Monica Sprint, but different reading tastes. Also, how are you updating your iPad? Very curious. 28 pages of Iron Gold up to 53%. Nice. Oh, welcome from India. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Also, if that's your puppy, he's so cute. That's all I was looking at. I didn't even read the words. I was just like, wow, puppy.
Cute puppy. Below freezing, I feel like I deserve snow. Snow makes everything so much prettier. Like, I remember being from the Northeast, if it was just cold and ugly outside, no, not the vibe, but snow everywhere, it just makes it soft and pretty, and it just makes you want to cozy up and be snuggly. Oh no, fighting a migraine and hoping to read Emily Wilde too. I hope it goes away or doesn't fully manifest into a full-on migraine. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I literally can't imagine.
Yeah.
35 pages.
Honestly, once you get past -30, they kind of all feel the same, but like -50, it kind of hurt to breathe.
Oh my gosh. When you said that -40 Celsius and -40 Fahrenheit were the same temperature, I was like, really? That is crazy.
It's so weird that it like lines up right there, but it does, and that's just disgustingly cold.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy. When the air hurts your skin and your lungs, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get any reading done. That's okay. Decided to write a review instead because I've fallen behind. I was also trying to sort my internet out as there's currently a storm in the UK. Oh no. Read 5%. Gonna start setting up my reading tracker for the year. I want to be better about tracking my reading stats this year. I love. What are you gonna do for your reading tracker? Hello. That's okay that you're late. I'm glad that you joined from India. I don't think I've ever had someone from India join sprints. 40 pages in the 4 Winds, already obsessed. Annotations, yeah, 100%. It's literally me giggling, teeing, kicking my feet, kikiing, all the things. I'm not doing like big brain annotations most of the time. Started kind of midnight, got 204 pages in that sprint. Oh my gosh, okay. Hi, Sophie. I'm reading A Touch of Gold and Madness today. It's a dystopian fantasy romance, 20% in so far. Love. Hello. The Fortune Men, shortlisted for Booker 2021. Interesting. Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning. I'm going to be reading a condition called Love, Volume 5. Oh my gosh, love. Cass, have you read any Stephanie Garber?
I have not. I think I will try Once Upon a Broken Heart at some point, but I'm still scared of it.
I'm scared.
So loved and hyped, and I was like, I'm gonna be that person. I just know it, but like I want to try it because like what if I can fangirl with all of you?
Yeah. I would be very shocked. That would be like my most shocked reaction if you actually liked those books.
Yeah. So, but I want to. Like I'm like I want to be the person that's screaming, crying, throwing up with all of you about everything. So I have to try it at some point.
I'm really trying to get to a point where I can recommend you a romance book and you actually love it, but I feel like you and I have such different reading tastes. But I want to
I love that though.
Yeah, that's my goal. I want that for us, you know?
I'm still hoping, like, I do want to continue in the Song for the Mark series, especially because I really liked Flame and Sparrow. So I'm hoping that one does it for me later down the line. But people that are close to me said I probably won't like book 2, so I really have to just like push my way into like book 3.
It starts to get very adventure driven where there's a lot of travel. And I think
Which
I've heard
don't like.
Yeah, I think I've heard you say that you don't like that. So, yeah, because they go on a journey of like discovering her powers and stuff. So, it's interesting, but you don't like travel. So, I don't know.
No.
I do want to read Flame and Sparrow. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
I have it. I cannot wait to read it. Like, I'm actually so excited to read it.
I think you could really like it, but I think the biggest problem with that book is like the love interest does not come in till 50%, and the first half kind of sucks because of that. But the second half was just like so good with him. I like loved him very much, and I like loved what was happening there. And I was like, why didn't we just like get him earlier?
That is so interesting. I was a little worried because the premise sounds somewhat similar to Shadows and Crowns. Like, I feel like S.M. Gaither loves writing stories about gods, like gods meddling with humans.
It's a prequel.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So it's like, I think it's like 500 years before Shadow and Crown. So you could get more out of it than I even got because I hadn't finished that series.
Gotcha. I also haven't finished. I've read the 3rd book and I still need to read 4 and 5. Ooh, I don't know why I do this with longer series that are more than 3 books. I tend to stall like at some point in the middle and then I'm like, okay, I have to finish this.
I relate. It's hard. When they're long, it's hard.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad we have some Divine Rivals lovers in the chat. Okay, there's no need to brag, Anna. Like, no. Rude. It said I had to be a software update fix to fix some issues. That's not fun. Do you have any book recs after reading the ACOTAR series? I have so many Fae romantasy book recs that I could give you. What did you love about it, though? Like, did you love the Beauty and the Beast retelling? Because Curse of the Wolf King could be pretty good for you. If you liked Fae romantasy, let me just go into the archives quickly. And let me try to find one with like really good writing style, because I feel like ACOTAR had a really good writing style.
I went straight into From Blood and Ash after ACOTAR because it was hyped. Like, it was so hyped that I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna be able to like this.
I haven't read.
I still say Serpent on the Wings at Night, but Tori doesn't agree with me on that one.
Or I know you didn't love the Daughter of No World series, but that one is a really good one too. A Dawn of Onyx is really good. I think that's one that we both like.
We both agree on.
So rare.
It must be great then if we both loved it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Blood and Steel is really good too. It doesn't have Fae in it, but I feel like the level of action and intensity is really good if you liked those parts of ACOTAR. And I'll try to give you one more. I'm getting into all my vampire romances. It's so funny. I have like, when I scroll through my Goodreads read page, I tend to read like so many that are just like clumped together of a certain theme of books.
I feel like because one does it good, and then you're like trying to get that high again of like what that book was.
Yeah, exactly. You chase that high. I think those are some good recs though for Faye.
Neither of the ones I said for Faye, but I still liked them.
Yeah, but it has like similar aspects to like certain writing that was in ACOTAR. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I would also say for Faye, you can't go wrong with Curl Prince if you haven't read that yet. It's like literally one of my favorites.
I haven't read it.
Really?
I need to read it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm shocked. It's very
I'm scared of it.
Do you like political?
I'm very scared of it for some reason, but I do want to try that one as well. There's so many books, so little time.
Yeah, I know. The good thing about that is it's a trilogy and it's really short. They're like 300 pages.
Yeah. I'll probably whiz through it. I don't know. I'm just scared of it for some reason. Same thing. I'm scared I'm going to hate it. And then I'm going to be that person.
From the hype? Like you're scared from the hype that you're going to hate it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's very stabby. It's very political. People call it a fantasy romance because yes, like Jude and Carden are everything, but the plot is actually much more focused on a political fantasy. It's very like scheming and stuff like that.
I do love that.
Stolen Tongues is one of the scariest horrors I've ever read.
I liked it. Another book we liked. I thought fantasy romance.
Maybe it's just romance that we like struggle to fully connect with, but maybe like other genres, we would be on the same page.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I just don't like lovey-dovey romances, truthfully. Like,
yeah,
if you're like sappy lovey from the beginning, I'm like, not for me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We will start our next sprint in 2 minutes. I'll try to catch up with chat as quickly as possible. Well, it depends on if you like lovey-dovey, whimsical romances, and it's a very different vibe from Divine Rivals, but it's like a fantasy world that is the most fairy tale literally ever, and it's all whimsy and like very purple prose type writing. The Sweetness of Water. Found a template online because I could not make that myself. Are you doing like an Excel template? Because Cass has like crazy reading tracker Excel templates.
Yeah, thanks.
That are literally stunning. She did all the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Love. My book is really cringy. The love interest was barking cutely. Immediate DNF. I don't even know what that means. I feel if you go into a book wanting a similar storyline / plot to a popular series, you'll probably be disappointed. So best to look for certain tropes that you like. Lady of Darkness is a good rec. I need to read that. I think that Rachel read that recently and really enjoyed it. I don't know. I feel like there's books that can follow. It depends on what you like about the plot, right? Like if you liked the pacing of a story, you can find a lot of similar. Or if you liked that it had a lot of action and the battle scenes were written really well, you can find similarities there. But if you're looking for a book that, if you're chasing the same high, like Cass said, that can be very difficult to find, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sherry. I think I'm very picky with fantasy romance because I like a good writing style and prose. And most that I've read are truly very basic and does nothing for me. Well, that's really sad. I feel like it's very hit or miss with KU specifically. I think if you read more like trad pub romantasy, you're going to find a better writing style. But for KU, you kind of have to dig through because that can be much more. It depends on whether they've been edited in a certain way, whereas trad pub romantasy has a more thorough editing process. Blood Mercy and Heavenly Bodies, two that Cass really liked. Although I didn't like the pacing in the second half of Heavenly Bodies. Yeah, Heavenly Bodies, There's some things that could
The
have been, like,
pacing
cut out from that book. Yeah.
Yeah, the pacing in Heavenly Bodies is wonky, but, like, the story was still really good.
Yeah. Exactly. Alright, we are gonna get into our next sprint. We'll do another 30. Happy reading, everyone. friends. Welcome back. How'd everyone do? Cass, how'd you do?
I read roughly 20 pages. Not a lot. It's like the writing style in this is like very like difficult for my brain. So like I'm reading so slowly. It's like very like descriptive and like a lot of commas, and I like typically read really quickly, and sometimes I'm like, wait, that didn't make sense. I have to go back and like pause for the commas to like make the sentence make sense.
Yeah. Is there an audiobook for it? That might help if you read along with the audiobook.
There is, and I thought about getting it, but I'm unsure. The library has too long of a hold on it, so I'd have to use a credit, I think. Actually, I didn't check Everend.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I've been using Everend. It had the audiobook for Starling House and Juniper and Thorn. That last sprint, I had to take JMO outside and I fed him his breakfast and I made a bagel. So I was listening to the audio. And I feel very blessed. The audiobook for Starling House was stunning. And then the audiobook for this one is also really good as well. So that's been fun.
Oh, also, it is on Everend, so good thing you brought that up, because I would have never checked and would have just been like, I have to use an Audible credit then. So.
Yeah. I was only subscribed to Audible when I was listening to the Throne of Glass books, because it's the only place you can find like the later books. And then I was like, I don't know if this is worth it. I'd rather just use Everend when I can, and Libby.
Yeah, a lot of the indies that I read are only on Audible, so I do pay for Audible. And then I use everything. I use a lot of audiobooks though in my life.
They help so much.
Like I don't know how people read without them.
Yeah. I never used to be an audiobook person, because if I read, especially with fantasies, if I read a fantasy and I don't have the physical or ebook and I'm just listening to it, I find it very difficult to remember what's going on, the details of the world. Like it just doesn't stick in my brain as well. But immersive reading has been a game changer for me in the last year.
Yes. Immersive reading it's my favorite way too, for sure.
Because then with fantasy, you
especially with a good audio.
With a good audio, and when you can listen and read and have it on like 2 or 2.5 speed, you can just like get through books so quickly, which is really nice.
Yeah. I also like listen to a lot of audios while like I'm cooking or doing random stuff, which is always nice. Like I couldn't imagine not having them now. Like I'm like, just silence? Like what? No.
Yeah. No, chores and audiobooks go like this. They're hand in hand. They're my besties. Especially laundry. That's how I get through folding laundry. I need to return to Blood Mercy. I started and I got maybe 15% of the way through, and then I put it down and I just never picked it back up, but I will return to it.
Yeah, it's slow and chunky, and it's not my typical romance. So I'm like hopeful that we'll both like it, because it is like soft and cute.
Yes, but the vampires in that world are so cool. Like I really want to learn so much more about the vampires.
Yes, they're so cool. I agree.
They're very unique, which is nice to read about sometimes. Sometimes you're like, I'm in the mood for vampire books, but then they all feel very similar. But Blood Mercy is more unique, I think. Read the prequel for Blood Mercy and really enjoyed it. Yeah, I did as well, and I totally agree. Hello, it looks like we got some new peeps joining us. Welcome in. Let us know what you're reading if you're just joining. Hi, Nikki. Good morning. How are you? Reading Priory of the Orange Tree. I was so intimidated by it, but it's not. I can't put it down. That makes me so happy. I loved Priory of the Orange Tree, and I felt the same way. I thought it was so scary. I was like, this is the longest book I've ever read, and then reading it blew me away. I do have ads turned on. Sorry.
I like that. I like that it was called a commercial, not an ad. It's a little commercial break.
Yeah, commercial break. Yes. Yeah, we do have a couple more sprints. We have about an hour before I have to log into work. Let us know what you're going to be reading. 21 pages. What's happening in the book? I can't close my mouth, one shock after the other. That's the best kind of book. Decided to try to finish my arc of Where Sleeping Girls Lie instead, and I got to 98%. 10% in. It's going okay. Oh boy. I haven't read a third person narration in a while, so I have to get used to it. Had some dinner. Clean the chinchilla cages. What are your chinchilla's names? Read a little over half of my manga. Love it. 58%. Yeah, that's fair. What are you reading? I am reading Juniper and Thorn.
I'm reading My Heart is a Chainsaw. Good old horror book.
Very different vibes from both of us today. I meant to ask, actually. Well, you haven't read Starling House, but anyone in the chat, if you read Starling House, what genre would you classify it as? Because I was looking on Goodreads and it has like a couple. It's under like fantasy. It's under horror because I know it's kind of gothic, and then it's also under thriller mystery. But this year I'm doing a genre tracker, and I really am very torn on what to put it under. Because I would say it's more like thriller because it does have a lot of mysteries in it, but I'm very undecided, so opinions would be helpful.
Interesting. I didn't know this about it. I don't have any plans to read it, but
yeah,
I did not.
I don't know. Sometimes like I have, I don't think I did a genre tracker last year in my bullet journal, but sometimes I have difficulty like placing one. I did do a specific genre for fantasy romance because last year what I was doing is if it would have more romance than like fantasy, it depended on what was driving the plot. If it was more like a fantasy driven plot, I would put it there. Romance, I would put it there. But some of these like in between books can be difficult.
Hard.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Nice. Very productive. Stephen Graham Jones has quite a unique writing style. It takes a little while to get used to.
Yeah, I read his like novella and I didn't like it, and then I DNF'd The Only Good Indians for the same thing. Like I just could not get into it. So this one's better than The Only Good Indians in my opinion. But it is something. Like it's a very unique style.
I've never read anything by him.
Sadly, this is only in the States, and it makes me so sad.
Really? That's so
friends always talk about it. And I'm so jealous. I don't get this when over here in Canada.
Why wouldn't they do it everywhere? Like that just doesn't make any sense to me. But I recently learned that some KU books have a free audiobook that's included. I don't think it's very common, but that was a shock to me. And then I posted on my Instagram story and everyone was like, bestie, where have you been? This has been happening for so long. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
I had no idea that was a thing. Like, wait, what? I'm gonna go look that up now. See if I can get that here.
Yeah, maybe try it. The book that I found it on, well, the thing is, I always go on like Kindle and the Kindle shop on my Kindle. So I don't know if it shows up there, but when I was back in Massachusetts, I went on my phone and it said, oh, like, do you want the audio for this book? And it was for The Hanging City. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I tried it on my phone and it worked. So I don't know. But also don't recommend The Hanging City. It was a mess.
Yeah. I've heard rough things about that one.
I was excited because I heard that it was giving Shrek fanfic in a fantasy romance. But my impression of that is, oh, it's going to be very unserious and it's going to be like a silly, goofy, like funny time. No, it's like serious. And it was giving like, I don't want to say cozy vibes, but it was just giving very like slow burn, serious fantasy. And I was like, absolutely not. No way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Questionable choices were made by the author. I've seen Binding 13 or that whole series like everywhere recently with the romance girlies. I don't know if that I would ever read it, but it's long. So 8 pages, good for you. Good job. House of Sky and Breath. 79% through Four Found Dead. Do you listen to / read a couple books at a time? I try to focus my time on one book, but sometimes I will do like a separate audiobook and then reading a physical book. Right now though, I did a chapter of Juniper and Thorn last night, and then I read 2 chapters of A Far Wilder Magic, so I was trying to decide between the two. Or if I'm reading a book that's difficult to get through, I'll have a reward system, so I'll balance it with a book that I really like, and I switch between the two that way. Cass, what about
I'm kind of
you?
the same. I like try to focus on having one, especially for like vlogging when I didn't vlog as much, I definitely read a lot more, but vlogging purposes, I feel like the timelines make more sense in a vlog if I'm reading one book and then the next book.
Yeah.
But sometimes like if I only have a book physically, I always need an audiobook on the go. So like if I can't get the audiobook for that book, I have an audiobook going, or like sometimes I have an ebook, so I like to read on my phone or like on my Kindle at night. But I do try to focus on one when I can.
Yeah, I agree. Didn't read anything. Doom scrolling on TikTok. That is okay, bestie. Happens to the best of us. They're named Silky, which means silk, Wool, which means wool, and Storm. Silk and Storm are mother and daughter. That's the cutest thing I've ever heard. Also, love the names. I don't think I pronounced them correctly, though, so I do apologize. Tried to read My Heart as a Chainsaw and could not get into it. It's in the UK, too. Nice. There's no KU in Estonia.
I'd be so sad.
I don't know what Amazon is doing, honestly. Get it together. So many people reading Crescent City, which makes sense because the next book comes out so soon and I haven't reread anything yet.
It's so funny though, because all the like Crescent City hype has made me just like want to drop everything to start my Throne of Glass journey because I don't like Crescent City idea after the first one, but I was like, oh, just the hype makes me want to go back to Sarah J. Maas.
Have you read Throne of Glass before?
I read Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight, and then I stopped because I just wasn't ready for what I know because I'm a spoiler queen, and so I watch all the spoiler shit.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of grew out of like my YA phase for like a good like year and a half because I feel like I was picking up ones that I was like, this is trash, like I don't like them anymore. And then recently I felt like I just started being pickier and picking up like ones I was really, really interested in and learning to love YA again. And so I'm going back and trying it again.
Good luck.
To try and finish it.
I feel like, I don't know, I have very mixed feelings about Throne of Glass. I feel like if I had started my SJM journey with Throne of Glass, I would have loved them a lot more. But because I started with ACOTAR and then Crescent City and then like circled back, her writing has changed so much over time.
Mm-hmm.
Like as one naturally does, as you continue to write more, there's certain things that improve.
Yeah.
But I can see like why so many people love it so much. I haven't finished it yet. I'm on Empire of Storms. I still have to read Empire of Storms onward.
I'm conflicted now because she just officially set a reading order, but Hannah had convinced me to read Assassin's Blades first, and now I'm like, wait, do I listen to Hannah or do I listen to the author?
I read Assassin's Blade first, and I really liked it because if I didn't have that context that continues in all of the other books, I'm someone who would have been like, what is going on? Like, who is this person that keeps coming up and like what happened to them? You know what I mean?
I was really close to skipping Assassin's Blade because I don't care. And I've read the first two, so like I know who it is and what it's gonna give you. And I was just like, I had no interest in knowing about him. But I guess now if I read it first, I'm technically reading it first and third at the same time.
Yeah.
First in my reread, but third in my journey.
Yeah. If that doesn't bother you, then then I think that's fine. But for me, I'd be like, what am I missing? Like, did I miss something? Am I being dumb? Like, do I have to go back and like look back? You know?
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's stressful.
Honestly, reading Throne of Glass is like kind of stressful.
Yeah, there's so many like, and people are so like intense about reading orders, and I was like just like talking to Hannah about it because obviously she's has read it a couple times, and I told her I was like, one, I'm not a character person, so she kind of told me that I probably could skip Assassin's Blade because it's about Selena as a person. and some of her backstory. And I was like, yeah, when I read Throne of Glass, like I didn't feel like I was missing any of that personally.
Yeah.
But she told me that she would give up her soul if I read it first. So I feel like I need to read it first.
You were peer
For her.
pressure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we get the puppy's name. Dog's name is Fluffy. She's 4 years old and she's a sweetheart and very funny too. Oh my gosh, love.
So cute.
Do you recommend reading Throne of Glass or Crescent City next? I just finished ACOTAR recently. They're very different vibes. Like Crescent City is urban fantasy, but I feel like the characterization of Bryce is a little bit more similar to like a Feyre. Well, I feel like all of her main characters are actually kind of similar, but I would recommend probably reading Throne of Glass next, because you'll see the difference in the writing style, and maybe it won't bother you as much. I don't know. It's tough to say.
Yeah, I would say going forward and then back is never the smartest idea. So I would go like back and then forward. So I would do Throne of Glass and then Crescent City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
But also, there's so much hype around Crescent City that it's hard to not be like, I just want to read that.
Yeah, everyone is like reading and rereading it right now. So I get if you wanted to read Crescent City next and like be able to chat with everybody. But to be fair, I feel like people are going to be rereading or reading for the first time Crescent City for the next couple months because the new book.
Yeah.
So you have options. Love Throne of Glass. Started reading it before Air of Fire came out, and it was my introduction to YA fantasy. Yeah, she does have good plot, which is really nice. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Now we're just like taking a deep Sarah J. Maas dive, so it's fine. Hello, reading Tori's book club. Kiss of Iron, 35% in, right past the Shadows intro. I'm loving it. I've been seeing all of your comments in Fable. They're popping up on my notifications, and I love it.
Yeah, I get this. I just don't actually care. That's my thing. Like, I'm not a reader that I would get to the end and be like, who is this character?
Yeah. Depends on if you're just unbothered like Cass or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, besties. I think we have time for one more sprint. I could probably do a little bit of a longer one if you guys wanted to go up to like 45 minutes. What are your thoughts?
I'm down for whatever.
Okay.
That's probably not helpful, but
I'm probably just going to go to 45 unless I'm trying to like, please do not. Having Fable has been my favorite. I really love getting to see it.
Imagine they just tell you, please end it. Like, we don't want to sprint anymore.
Yes, please end stream. Oh my god. I'd be like, okay, bye. I agree. Really quickly before we start next sprint, I feel like having Fable has been a game changer for me because although I do love book clubs where there's like a live show and you get to chat about the book live, I feel like Fable is such a at your own pace type thing. And I love it. And I love when people pick up the book because not everyone starts the book at the same time. You can go through chapter by chapter as you're reading and it feels like you're still reading with people and you're not reading alone and you can respond to comments and stuff. So I'm so happy that you like it. I've been having so much fun with our book club.
I wish that Fable would let you do more than one book at once.
For the book club?
Yeah. Like you could set up the next month a little bit earlier without like getting rid of that. That's my like one complaint about them.
I agree. Yeah, that would be interesting. I feel like they are very open to feedback though, and they do a lot of updates, which is really nice. Unlike unlike Goodreads. So maybe that will come in the future.
Okay. I'm ready to read.
All right. Let me lock this in position and we will do 45. Happy reading, everyone. Hi, friends. How was that last sprint for everybody? Cass, how'd you do?
Give me a longer sprint and I don't read, apparently. I read like 2 pages.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
that's okay. You needed a break, I guess.
Yeah, I was posting for Realmathon some stuff. So
Exciting!
you also may have gotten a message in that sprint.
Okay. I was very focused on my book in that sprint. I ended up getting up to page 162. And when we started these sprints, I was on page 80. So I read a good bit of this, which was awesome.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm hoping to finish this today. And then I'm hoping to get a little bit farther into a Far Wilder Magic for my weekend reading vlog that I'm filming.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know how you did in that last sprint, y'all. I'm glad that you guys thought 45 minutes was good and didn't say, end it here.
Hi, delete your channel, end the sprints, never want to see you again. Imagine.
Oh my goodness. Read 45 pages up to 63%, total of 15% on these sprints. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Didn't read any more of Kiss of Iron, but uploaded my booktuber's best books video and made lunch for me and the kiddos. Nice. Read 10% of my books, so now I'm at 31%. It's definitely getting juicy. There's a lot of sus things happening. Very curious where it's going to go. I can't wait to see your review of your arc. Hello, Kim. I'm sorry, we are ending in a little bit. We're going to finish with some final chit chats and then we're going to hop off. 13 pages of Fourth Wing. Love the ding. Okay, good. I'm glad it's a satisfying noise. I used to use, there's like that really cute cat timer, but every time the cat would meow when the sprint was done, it would scare the life out of me. And I feel like that ding dong is just gentle and it's nice. It doesn't actually scare you out of the sprint.
That's fair.
Finished Where the Sleeping Girls Lie, wrote my review for it, and then read 65 pages of Dead Tomorrow. Wow, that was awesome. 75 pages during that sprint. Finished dinner and getting ready for the evening so I can start reading. Yay, I'm so glad. So we're going to end here, folks. I apologize for the people who were just coming in on that last one. But Cass has a live show in like an hour. I was going to say at noon, but I know it's not noon for everybody. And you guys are discussing book club book?
Yeah, The Girl in the Ice by Mark Lawrence for Backlist Book Club. There will be a non-spoiler part at the beginning before we get into spoilers if anyone wants to come check it out. But
yeah, so if you want to keep hanging with Cass, that will be in about an hour. And I will see y'all next Sunday for sprints. Thanks for joining. Bye.